Relax well. Got a good title. We like that. Relax well. It's an acrostic for 9 letters to answer this question. What will we do in the new heaven and the new earth? We'd already said it's not just sit around and strum a harp. What will we do? We will relax well. Let's get right into it. The R is for rest. Let's go ahead and talk about that rest, because that's what we think about in heaven. In Revelation 14, it said, "And I heard a voice from heaven saying," write it down, "Blessed are they who die in the Lord from now on." Yes, says the Spirit, they are blessed indeed, for they will rest from their hard work, for their good deeds follow them. Yes, there is a time of rest to come. I have a lot of pictures for you today. Here's one. This is from Carambola. Earl and Melvin, did you ever get to go to Carambola? It's on St. Croix, Virgin Islands, where they used to minister to church and school there. Sandy and I did a marriage seminar for that church, and they said, we're going to put you up at Carambola. It's a little retreat, and imagine right where this guy's taking the camera, that's where our little cabin was, right on the beach. We had a cabin, we had a hammock like that. Sandy would go lay on the beach. I would lay in the hammock and read a book and fall asleep, take a nap. When we got hungry, we walked down the beach just a little bit to the restaurant, got something to eat. It was wonderful. We rested. It was great. And what I'm trying to say is we're going to rest. There's going to be a time of rest in heaven. And why not lay on the beach, read a book in a hammock, and rest? Again, I don't think it's laying on a cloud, strumming a harp. There'll be a new earth with a lot of the qualities and a lot of the landscape of the old earth, only without the curse. And maybe we'll even get to go to Carambola again. So one of the things we're looking forward to, take a nap, rest. That's going to happen. All right, the E is for, how about this? And this one's a little bit more imagining, but entertainment, music, and arts. Now we know there's going to be music. Let's read a couple of verses. "And I heard a sound from heaven like the roar of mighty ocean." But it wasn't ocean waves or thunder. It was a sound like the sound of many harpists. The great choir sang a wonderful new song in front of the throne of God. It was so loud like thunder, it was people singing. And in Psalm, the psalmist said, "I will sing to the Lord as long as I have lived. I will praise my God to my last breath." Well, I don't think that when God gave us a wonderful thing like music, He's going to snatch it away. I believe we're going to still have music in heaven. And we may even get to go hear Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder. Maybe they'll play some tune. Oh, you know what may has happened? Somebody you live near say, a couple of us have been practicing. We got a free concert over in the backyard. Let's come over. And we'll get to, why not? Get to play and listen to some good music. Or maybe some great orchestra is going to get together, only instead of maybe 100 in the orchestra, they'll have 100,000. I don't know. And they'll have a free concert. We get to, I think there's going to be music. And there may be art. This is from a picture of Thomas Kincaid. Why not? Why not get to paint up there more and go see anew what he's painted since he's been in heaven? Or what other people have painted. Or maybe you'll get to paint. You've always wanted to paint, and maybe you'll have enough time and a good teacher, and maybe you'll get to paint, and we'll get to see art. Or how about this? Anybody know what show that was from? Twilight Zone. Classic. A show is a classic. This is a classic. Maybe not as good as It's a Cookbook, but this was a classic for the Twilight Zone. Burgess Meredith was a bank employee who loved to read. Never had enough time. His boss was always getting on him about reading during his breaks. His wife was always getting on him, wouldn't let him read at home, marking through his books. So he's down having lunch in the vault downstairs, and a nuclear war happens. All the people are killed. He's the only survivor. He comes up and he goes to the library and he gets all the books. And he says, I got these kind of books and these kind of books. And it's wonderful. And he leans over and his glasses fall off and break. He finally had time to read and he breaks his glasses. It's not fair. It's not fair. Which life's like that, isn't it? Sometimes life's not fair. Right when you thought you'd have time for this, right when you got a little money saved up, something breaks down at the house. But the title of it is what I want to say, Time Enough at Last. In heaven it'll be time enough at last. If you like to read, why can't we read in heaven? Why can't we read, or why can't we have some people write some new books in heaven that we get to read? And it'll be time enough at last to do some of those things we wanted to do that we just didn't have time to do. Or maybe the Lewis and Tolkien will write a new book and we'll have new plays or movies. I'm saying use your imagination. I don't think heaven is going to be less than earth, which is a lot of times what we act like. Like, oh, we're heaven, so no wonder people don't want to go to heaven. Oh, we're going to miss out. I don't think you're going to miss out on anything except the curse. And use our imagination from a good God who wants it to be good for us, and how He created us. He created us to like music. He created us to like beauty because we're in His image. And I think that's going to carry on into the new heaven and the new earth. All right, the L stands for learn. He also created us to learn. And I like this saying, never stop learning. I think that's good for this life. After you get to school, you're done with school, you just started your learning. And you know what? It's a good thing to learn. I love to learn. And I think we're going to learn in heaven. What are some things we're going to learn about? Well, how about God? I mean, you never could stop learning about infinite, all-knowing, all-powerful God. And all of us probably have some questions about God. You certainly can't figure Him out. And we'll never completely comprehend Him. But I think we're going to learn more about God when we get to heaven. Or maybe we'll learn more about history. I love history. But we'll talk to the actual figures. We'll talk to the people, and we can talk to the people in the Bible. We can talk to the people in history and learn from them what it was like. Won't that be interesting? I think that's going to be tremendously interesting. I'm looking forward to that. To talking to these people that I never had a chance. I just picked one out, Katerina van Bora. Anybody know who she married? Yeah, this is a little harder. She married Martin Luther. At age 5, she was put into a convent, raised to be a nun, became a nun, but then the Reformation happened, and she said, that's true, that's true, that's what the Bible says. So her and a group of nuns left the convent illegally, you weren't supposed to do that, went to Martin Luther and said, you need to help me find husbands for these nuns. He helped her, and when they were all found places, there was one left, Katerina, the leader of the whole group, and her and Martin sort of looked at each other and said, why don't we get married? And they got married. And Katerina he headed up the church and the university. She headed up their farm, their whole place, everything was going on with the animals, the workers, the plant. She operated a hospital and was a nurse in it sometimes. She raised 6 of her own children, raised 4 more orphans. He called her the boss around there because she took care of a lot of stuff. But she always called him Sir Doctor. She treated him with respect. Is that what you do? You call him Sir Roy at home? Yes, Amy says she calls him Sir Doctor at home. And so we know how that goes. So she was a very interesting lady. And as she laid on her deathbed, she said this, I will stick to Christ like a bird sticks to cloth. There's a woman who had something. We'll get to talk to her. And many more like her. And maybe you get to talk to your great-great-grandparents that you never met. I just learned about my great-great-grandfather 2 days ago. My cousin posted something she found out. I knew my great-great-grandfather was a Baptist preacher, but he was also a farmer, a carpenter, a businessman, and an inventor who even had patents. I'm looking forward to talking to him. And my other great-grandparents. And Aquila and Priscilla. And King Jehoshaphat. We can ask him how many jumps he did. Jumping Jehoshaphat? Okay, well, that's sort of poor on it. I didn't even get courtesy laughs out of that one. Well, I'll try harder next time. We can learn about ourselves. This is supposed to symbolize our lives through all ages. You say, how can I learn about myself? Well, we may get to talk to our guardian angel who will tell us a few things. You remember that time when you're 16, you decided you'd speed out on the back country roads people. That was your other brothers. That wasn't you. And then your guardian angel says, you would have had it if I hadn't moved that steering wheel a little bit. You may find out things about yourself. You may find out some things and learn some things that you thought you really wanted. And you even prayed for and desired, and you didn't get, and you're going to find out it was a whole lot better you didn't get it. Because your life would have went a whole different arc if you'd have got that. You may learn from somebody who come up to you and say, I want you to know what you did for me that really helped me. When you were there for me, or when you talked to me, you encouraged me, gave something to me, and you didn't even know it. You may learn about that in heaven. And we may even learn about understanding quantum physics. I don't know. But I think we're going to learn and keep, because God made us to learn. I think we're going to keep on learning in heaven, and that will be enjoyable. The A is for aspire. And I love this picture of the starry night. A man looking at the stars at night. And I like to think about that God made human nature so that, and I can't believe this comes from just evolution, that we're just bigger, smarter animals, that we have something in us that wants to aspire to better. And that is and we see that in all human nature. And it says, somebody wrote this, from the pyramids, even early ancient man wanted to build something that will last, that was impressive, to skyscrapers and other great buildings today. From scrolls to the printing press to e-books. You can get on your iPad laying in your bed and download a book in a minute that you can read. Is that not amazing? Have we lost all sense of amazing of what we have done as humans? From cave paintings to great medieval art to cable TV. I'm not saying everything on cable TV, but there's a lot of good things on how we have progressed from fire to microwave ovens, which is how I like to cook. I get a can of that soup, peel it off, pour it in a bowl, microwave for a minute and a half, and I'm ready for supper. That is great progress, folks. Well, all right, for me anyway. From ancient medicines to heart transplants. Even in a cursed world, which we're in, where we fight and things go wrong, nothing seems to go right no matter what we try. Even in a cursed world, people have wanted to create and build and invent and explore. That's in us, from God, I believe. And maybe we will explore the universe. I just wonder why God made such a big universe. I think we're going to get to see it. That's just, I don't have a Bible verse for that. Except some places he talks about the new heavens and the new earth. So, maybe we'll get to go to other places in the future. And then extras. I just had extras, these things it's hard to just say. What are a few extras? Well, let's look at the verses. You will show me the way of life, granting me the joy of your presence and the pleasures of living with you forever. It's not going to be boredom. It's not going to be hardship. The pleasures of living you forever. And Jesus said in Luke, be happy. Leap for joy. A great reward awaits you in heaven. We're going to practice right now. Leaping for joy. Everybody leap for joy. Well, all right. We ought to be, that's what he said, we ought to be leaping for joy. We're going to heaven. We're going to heaven. Well, you're not leaping with me. All right. Try it at home. When you get home, Daryl, I want to see you. I would really pay money to see you leap. But really, we're going to have, here's just I thought of three things. I got three pictures from our picnic. Laughing. Just having a good time. Do you think they won't be laughing in heaven? I do. You think you'll be laughing and smiling in heaven? Of course there will. The joy of it. There'll be good times. How about eating together? And make sure you tell Wanda. We got a picture of her eating. She loves, and I do too. I don't like just to eat. I like to eat with friends and family. There's a whole added step to that, isn't there? When you eat with somebody else, you're sharing life. You're talking to them about just whatever life is. Sometimes it's just silly things, and then sometimes it gets to some that are real. Because you're all human, and you got to eat, and you're eating together. I think can be a spiritual thing. I believe we're going to have that in heaven. And who says we can't have sports? Why can't we have horseshoes and volleyball in heaven? We have it down here. You say, well, I get frustrated playing golf. Well, you'll get better. You know, I think we can have sports. I think we can have extras. I want you to get the idea. Heaven is something, I want to go there. I believe that's the whole thing the Bible's He's trying to encourage us. Yeah, you have hard times down here. But you're going to heaven forever. And it's good things. And we need to remember that. All right, that's the relax. And then the W.E.L.L. The W for worship. Yes, there will be worship. The throne of God and of the Lamb will be there, and his servants will worship him. I have a song now to play that's from a church in Texas, which has a great choir and orchestra. I want to play that, not only because I love this song, but to give us a clue, just a hint of what heaven can be like. So let's play this song. Isn't that a beautiful song? Just multiply that by a million. People from all over, all ages, worshiping God. And when I worship, I don't feel worse. I feel better. It's not like it's a chore, it's a bad thing, it's a hard thing to worship the great God. We can't even imagine how good that's going to be. But that's just an idea there. People from all over and all places worshiping together, and we will worship together in heaven. And then there's endeavors. The E is endeavors because I didn't want to use the word work, so I said endeavors. You know, Adam and Eve had something to do in paradise, in the Garden of Eden. If I would have stayed at Karen Bowl, we stayed there 2 nights. If I would have stayed there 2 weeks, Sandy would have still loved it at the beach. But 2 years, I've been saying, maybe we can get up and do something else. I don't think we'll just. I think we'll have plenty of time to rest, but I don't think we'll just rest. We'll have some endeavors. Now look at this picture of this farmer. Does he look sad? No. He's raised some crops. You know, now I know farming can be hard if you got the prices and disease and bugs and everything else. But if you don't have the curse, watching something grow can be nice. And sharing that can be nice. There can be good feelings from the work we do. Good feelings of working with others. And I think we'll have some endeavors. Now, here's some possibilities. Here's some we won't have. There won't be any funeral directors. No dentist, because no decayed. Hallelujah. I finally quit getting on the dentist. Insurance salesman, drug rep. Sorry, Mark. We'll have to find something else. Or preachers. Whoa. Everybody be saved, living right. They won't even need preachers. Well, what will we do then? Well, here's some ideas. Maybe we'll train animals, or do some gardening and landscaping, or raise food. And be an administrator, because there's things he talks about ruling over. We neglect a lot of that part of the Bible. Forest ranger, or build things, or make furniture, or make jewelry, or an engineer, or musician, and on the list can go. Things we like to do, things we want to learn about and try without the 9-to-5 boss looking over us or whatever. I believe there'll be some endeavors. Maybe you've always wanted, well, if I had time, I'd like to try to make some things in a workshop. Well, you'll have time. Or maybe I'd like to have a garden, and you'll have time. And so there'll be some endeavors that we will get to be a part of, I think, and we'll enjoy it in heaven. This is a quote from Randy Alcorn. I told you he wrote the book on heaven. It wasn't an accident that Jesus was born a carpenter, he says. In the carpenter's family, I mean. Carpenters are makers. God is a maker. We know that's true. He'll never cease being a maker. God made us, his image bearers, to be makers. We'll never cease to be makers. When we die, we will leave behind our creativity, but only what hinders our ability to honor God through what we create. We are made in the image of the Creator, and so we also have that desire to create. And he says in heaven, we'll still have opportunities to do that. I think that's a very interesting part of heaven. The last two letters are L, love. Love. This says 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. So it's going to last forever. There will be love in heaven. When I Google images for love, it came up pictures like that, romantic love. And I'm all for romantic love, by the way. I like it. I think this is a picture from a movie, maybe The Notebook. I'm not, you guys can help me on that. And I'm for romantic love, but how about this kind of love? Or how about this kind of love? Or how about this kind of love? Or how about grandmother and grandchildren? Or how about love for a pet? Nothing wrong with loving a pet. Now, I believe there will be animals in new heaven and new earth. How about extended family, grandparents and grandchildren and aunts and uncles and cousins? How about friends? Picture of our house a couple of months ago. Or how about people who've been married for a long time and they went through, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, they went through sickness and health, and they learned to grow closer together and still keep loving. Or how about the love of God? We'll learn more about God and love God more and experience his love for us. We all created in the image of God. I do not believe if this universe has got here on its own, we all evolved from lower animals, that we would be loved. But we are. You know what a lot of books and movies do? They have a tension, a division between a couple that was maybe headed towards marriage, but then they get in a fight. Or they have a father and a son get in an argument at Christmas, and they split up and they won't talk to each other. And then it shows how they work together and things work out. And finally they come back and they forgive each other. And they hug each other. And we say, yes, yes. That burns in our heart. That is right. For people to forgive and love and be reconciled. We know that is right in our deepest being. Because God has made us that way. And that's what we'll have in heaven. A love that grows for others and others. Love will be there in heaven. And then we will live as planned in the original paradise when the paradise is restored, we will live as planned. I picked this picture just because its beauty reminds me of paradise. We will live back as God planned originally, before sin, before rebellion, before the curse. We will live as planned. There'll be no more sin. Nobody going to come and try to steal your money or break in your house. Nobody going to come and shoot up a church like it did in California last week, or go in a grocery store filled with hate and shoot and kill people. No more of that. No more of lying to you. You can't trust them. No more of hurting people with your words. You're slicing them apart with your words and excluding. No more sin, which is a cause of a lot of the heartache we have in this world, is sin by other people or us. No more worry. You're not going to have to worry about getting the bills paid. Anybody here ever had to worry about bills? Of course we have. Or worry about your health, or worry about your kids, or your grandkids. Everybody, whether we're supposed to worry or not, we've had to deal with worry. None of that. That's gone. No more worry. And no more fear. All through the Bible is telling, fear not, don't be afraid. We fight fear all night. We're afraid to get found out. We're afraid we're going to look stupid. We're afraid we're going to fail. We're afraid we're going to get sick. We're afraid we're going to die. No more fear. We're going to live as God planned originally in the new paradise. All of these things, relax well, a reason to never give up or get discouraged, but to press forward. We've got something that will make all of this pale in insignificance. Something to leap for joy in heaven. I want to leave with this quote. C.S. Lewis wrote 7 books in the Chronicles of Narnia series. In the last book, The Last Battle, at the end of the book, the young people that had been in all of it said, "Oh, we don't really want to go back to London." He said, "Don't worry, you don't have to go back anymore. This is the end of all that." But he said, but it wasn't the end. But for them, it was only the beginning of the real story. All their life in Narnia had only been the cover and the title page. And you know what he's saying. That's what he's saying for us. All this life on this earth, we've had to struggle sometimes. It's only been the cover and the title page. Now, at last, they were beginning chapter 1 of the great story, which no one on earth has read, which goes on forever, and which every chapter is better than the one before. That's what we got coming, brothers and sisters. Let's bow our heads for prayer.